All right, ready?
Yeah.
Who introed that? I don't even know.
Me, so
Oh,
you get
okay.
this.
Okay, this will be cool. Yeah, I rewatched 4, 5, and 6. 'Cause I can't, just because I've seen the first 3 so much when I was a kid that they're just embedded in my brain. All right. That's Chucky and his knife. We're here to review Child's Play from 1988. This movie I saw in the theater, first run. And because I was just, God, this is right, holy shit. This movie came out I think exactly when I was starting to get into horror movies. So I was like, I had recorded Chud off of TV. We're going to review that someday if we're still alive then. I had recorded Chud off of TV, Channel 23, right when this movie was coming out. And I had recorded, there was a commercial that's really cool, which I'm not going to be able to find. Maybe it's on YouTube, probably not. Really cool, weird commercial. It's not really a trailer, but it's an advertisement for Child's Play. It's really, really cool. It's really short and just cool. But they show the toy. They didn't show anything except I don't know, the toy place blowing up or something. But it was really minimalistic and cool. Child's Play, opening whenever. But so I instantly knew about Child's Play because of Chud, which makes no sense. But if you understand the circumstances, you get it, because I was taping
It's the same
Chud
with me.
off of TV.
I taped to Stephen King's It, and that's how I got introduced to Predator 2.
See?
So, yeah.
That sometimes happens. I don't tape stuff off of TV anymore, but in the day I did. So anyway, Child's Play. The stars are difficult. I really think that this is really kind of cool, and I still think that this one's just great. I love just the Chicago and just winter, and I love the music in this one, which never came back. The stars is difficult. Anyway, the beginning. I remember as soon as this came out on video, bringing it over to a friend's house, and we microwave popcorn, and you'd pull the bag open like this and that, and then the way I grabbed the one thing is to grab it I grab shit against my body. So, and I pulled the thing, and I got 3rd-degree burns my stomach because of the shit. Just not a whole lot, just there was a couple of little spots that burned the skin right off, and I was like, so I got to watch the movie in pain. So anyway, now I'll use the fridge and just kind of hold it against the fridge and go.
That's
instead of
scalding your skin. Yeah, I would too.
So Child's Play will always remind me of the 3rd-degree burns on my stomach, which were there for. Burns luckily only hurt for the first 24 hours or something, but the holes were there for a while. The scars. So that's what I think of when I think of Child's Play. Opening the microwave.
So this movie scarred you.
This movie scarred me physically somehow. So yeah, that was fun. So while I'm watching it, I'm like, I'm just in pain the whole time. So that's what I think about when I think of Child's Play. But this is really cool, and I love the beginning is really cool. Just you don't know, coming in mid whatever, why ever they're chasing him. He's just he's a lakeshore strangler. That's why he's a criminal or whatever. So, and the beginning is intriguing, how you don't really even know anything, and you don't need to know anything about Charles Lee, right? You just come into his death, and he happens to know this stuff, and the toy store, and cut to later on, and I think, it can be argued that the kid is, what's his name?
Andy?
Well, his real name, or whatever. It's Andy Barclay, but his real name is something, I know that.
Yeah.
But I do I can't remember her name. What's the woman's name?
Seventh Heaven chick.
Yeah, well anyway, I do like her, and I think she's actually really, really good in the movie, and she ended up, I think, marrying the guy who did the Chucky doll or something like that, I think. And Linnea Quigley ended up marrying someone who did effects too on some other movies, so I guess I gotta do effects for movies. But I thought she was really great in the movie, and very sympathetic. And you felt for all their plight when everything was happening, and her kid, she thought her kid was going nuts, and she wanted him, she wanted to get this for the kid because the kid wanted this stupid thing. And that's back in the 80s when it was Cabbage Patch Kids and all this shit, and My Buddy. I don't know if you remember.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
My Buddy. I don't know if that was before or after Child's Play.
It probably was around the same time. I bet you this.
I bet Child's Play is based on basically My Buddy. My Buddy. I never had one because, come on.
Yeah.
My Buddy. But My Buddy was real, and it was exactly like The Good Guy. So it must have just been
I'm assuming that's probably what it was based on.
right. Yeah. So I just love the atmosphere of this movie. The winter, Chicago. It's just everything, just like Back to the Future. Maybe not so many things were aligned in this, but it was very much the same way for me, where everything really worked for it. Alex Vincent is the kid, and I don't know how old he was, but I think that he was pretty. It's not like a perfect performance or anything, but it's
really
it's
good.
good.
Yeah.
It's really good in the crying stuff when he'd get back into the corner and slide down, and he's like.
He's better in the first movie than he is in the second movie.
You think so?
Certainly, yeah. But
so I don't know. I don't know the stars. I'm probably just gonna go 4, and a lot of that is because it might be 3.5, but just because of the added. I mean, I saw it when I was 11, and I grew up with it, and it's obviously it's the best one for me of all of the Child's Plays, and I think Chucky almost looks the best in this movie than he does in any of them. I like how he looks in the first 3, but I mean. He almost looks too clean in 2 and 3. I really like how he looks in this, and the stages. Unfortunately, some of that stuff where they had the guy in the suit is a little too much. So obvious. But I love some of the. I like the cop too.
the cop, yeah.
The cop,
I've been
too.
sitting here trying to remember his name, and I
Yeah.
can't remember, but he's really good.
But why don't I hand it off to you? I mean, Child's Play is classic. I mean, late '80s. It's just classic.
This movie I really like, but I have a problem with because it's a franchise.
Well, it wasn't when it came
It
out.
wasn't, no, and that the franchise ruined it.
Oh,
because,
well, I probably agree with that.
Because what works about this movie is you don't know whether Andy is doing it or Chucky is doing it. Because you really don't know until about halfway in. And
That's
then,
one of the great things about it.
Yeah, and the fact that everybody knows who Chucky the killer doll is, ruins the first
if
movie.
someone were to go see it now for the
Yeah, well,
first
I tried
time.
to show it to a bunch of my friends, and
Who had never seen it before.
yeah, and they liked it, but they thought the first half was really boring, and I'm like, it's only boring because
Because
you know that Chucky's the killer.
Where's Tiffany?
Yeah, well, like they were just like, everybody knows that Chucky's the killer, and I'm like, but
Yeah.
back in 1988 you didn't, and so like. That's sort of the same problem with the Friday the 13th franchise. The most interesting stuff is the mom. Like Freddy to a lesser extent.
Well, right.
And
the first movie can.
Halloween. Halloween is amazing. The babysitter killers. Once it's his sister, it's like, oh, fuck it, this is stupid.
Right, you're true.
So-
You're true. You're right about the whole. The first movies are so great for so many of those reasons, where it's just like the sequels will just ruin it.
Yeah, like Scream 2 is absolutely right. Sequels destroyed the horror franchise. Franchise sequels destroyed the horror genre. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
In Scream 2. And I agree. This movie's an excellent example of that. Because this movie is really good all the way through. Some of the best stuff is in the beginning where you really don't know. Like, you don't even see the hand holding the hammer that hits the girl. You just see the hammer flying through the air and nailing her. And it's really a jarring shot, and like you see the little good guy doll footprints, but
He's got
the same shoes, like all that stuff. And
When I was a kid, I never ever watched it that way, but that's the way you can definitely watch it.
and like
Because I knew the doll was but that's
so-
definitely a way you could watch it.
yeah, and I think that is some of the most interesting stuff. That said, Chucky was an immediately iconic killer. The voice of Chucky is just so perfect. Oh my God, he did a great job. He being, why am I forgetting his name? Brad Dourif. Freaking Oscar-nominated gentleman. He raised the level of this movie, elevated the level of the movie just through his voice performance. He's so good and sinister, and there's so much hate in his voice. You love to hate that character. And I like the mom and I like the kid. I love the cop. I love that relationship. It's so interesting. I like the music as well. I like the atmosphere of the movie. And moms do that. They go out of their way to try to get their kid, like, or parents in general, try to get their kid that thing that they want so desperately, even if they have to buy it from some
Oh yeah, that's
random
right.
homeless person on the street.
The mom was so, you just empathize with, for me,
Yeah.
even from the first time I saw it
Yeah.
with the mom. It's just like, and you feel so bad when
Yeah.
Andy's taken like
Yeah.
from her, and she comes home and it's just like,
Yeah.
you fucking.
Yeah, and that moment is great too, where when she discovers there's no batteries in the doll and turns it over, and then he's like, "You bitch!" And
Oh man, so stars. I'm interested.
3.5.
Okay, yeah. To
as
me
well.
it probably would be, but that extra half is just like, just boyhood glee,
Yeah.
joy, whatever.
And this is one that I watch repeatedly. It's a good one. This is a horror
Yeah, I haven't
Halloween
seen it
staple.
for a while. I'm gonna have to watch it.
So I love this movie. This is an easy 3.5 for me. And I guess that's it. Child's Play was great. Enough had been said. Oh, and I will say that there's some really creepy shots. I love it's the only time in the movie, you're right, like the live person in wearing a doll outfit is
Yeah,
kind of lame.
like
But
when
the only shot where it works is when he's completely burned, holding the
Yeah,
knife, and
yeah,
like
yeah.
the camera's all really low, and he's just creeping up on
It
Andy.
looks like the real doll.
Yeah,
And he
it's
looks
like-
so great when he's burned.
Yeah.
That one shot it is
Yeah.
I think an animatronic shot
Yeah.
where they pan up
Yeah.
and right on cue, right when the camera
Yeah.
he's like the knife moves
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah.
I can't remember what he says, but that's just so cool. And
Andy or something
yeah,
like that.
the end is like the Terminator
Yeah.
of Chucky.
Yeah,
It's
and-
like the end of the Terminator.
Yeah, and it's great, and so that
It's
I
like-
will say that I love that shot. It's just to this day, that's one of those like horror movie moments that like the single still image that is haunting.
That'd be cool to have, you know, the door posters, like where
Yeah.
it's just like it's
Yeah.
tall and
Yeah.
skinny. Just have a poster of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, where he's like creeping up on the kid. Anyway, fantastic, loved it. That I will say one last thing. The second cop who walks in and then shoots Chucky, and he's like, "Yeah, but who's gonna believe me?" That's a stupid line. They should have cut that.
Well, I just thought
Now
that
do you believe us? Yeah, but now who's gonna believe me?
the cop's partner was kind of
Yeah.
80s, you know,
Yeah, I
late
mean,
80s.
they needed like the sense of humor, but whatever. So fantastic.
Isn't it something I like the first, yeah, for me, is it this, well, I guess that's a spoiler on your other reviews, but would you say this is the best Child's Play movie?
Yes and no. We'll get to
okay,
it.
and if we're lucky, we'll get to that. Thank you very much for watching. I might watch this tonight. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I'm really starting to.
We're talking it up so much. He's gonna
Yeah.
go home and be like, "What? This is a 2-star movie."
No way.
Stop it.
No way. I can remember how much I love this. And after the car flips and he's trapped in the
Yeah.
car and running around,
Yeah.
they do so much great stuff
Yeah,
with this
it's
movie.
cool.
Child's Play, awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.